Welcome, chosen ones. Let this message resonate deeply with your spirit. The devil may be powerful, but even his hands tremble when it comes to the chosen ones. Think about that for a moment. While most people live in constant fear of dark forces, here's a truth that will keep you up for all the right reasons. If you are truly chosen, no demon, no dark entity, no shadowy force can lay a finger on you. Why? Because your destiny is not ordinary. It is sealed with divine protection, a spiritual force field so unbreakable that even the darkest spirits whisper, "Not today." You ever wonder why, despite the chaos around you, you continue to rise? It's not luck. It's God placing you front and center, giving you a clear view of your enemies as they scramble in defeat. And let me tell you, the look on their faces when they realize they can't touch you? Priceless. Here's the truth. Your life is built on a foundation that dark forces cannot breach. You are untouchable, operating on a divine frequency that darkness cannot comprehend, let alone reach. Let's dive deeper into the reasons why the chosen ones are a force that even the devil himself fears. The energy of a chosen one is unmatched, vibrating on a level so high that it's beyond the comprehension of dark forces. Think of it as tuning into a radio station that doesn't exist on their dial. Demons and malevolent entities are confined to lower vibrations, feeding off fear, doubt, and negativity. But you? Your essence is like a celestial symphony they cannot hear. You don't just operate in a different realm, you live in a realm they cannot access. Their attacks bounce off you like pebbles against a fortress wall. It's not about being defensive. It's that they can't even begin to grasp your essence. To them, you're a beacon of light so radiant it's blinding. They scatter, powerless, because your very presence disrupts their plans. Your destiny isn't subject to negotiation. Long before dark forces ever plotted against you, God had already sealed your fate in divine ink. No demon, no scheme, no force can rewrite what God has ordained. Think of it as a celestial contract with your name on it, and there's no room for edits, cancellations, or interference. Every attempt to harm you only reinforces your divine path. Their efforts are absorbed into the divine plan, transforming obstacles into stepping stones. What they meant for evil is repurposed for your growth. This isn't just protection. It's a divine guarantee that your life's purpose will prevail. When you walk with the confidence of someone whose destiny is sealed, every move you make becomes unstoppable. Demons thrive on manipulation and deceit, weaving their influence in the shadows where their schemes can go unnoticed. They plant seeds of fear, doubt, and confusion, hoping you'll unknowingly nurture them with your thoughts and energy. Their power lies in subtlety, relying on their ability to remain hidden while pulling the strings. But as a chosen one, the moment you become aware of their tactics, their power begins to unravel. Awareness is their greatest enemy because it shines a light on their tricks, rendering them powerless. Your understanding acts as both a shield and a sword. It blocks their attempts to infiltrate your mind and cuts through their web of lies with the clarity of divine truth. They rely on secrecy, but you expose them with the light you carry. Their entire strategy collapses when faced with someone who sees through the illusions they so carefully craft. This knowledge terrifies them because they cannot manipulate what is no longer blind to their schemes. The clarity you possess is their defeat. It neutralizes their efforts, leaving them scrambling in confusion and fear. By simply recognizing their games, you strip them of their power, ensuring their attempts fail before they even begin. Here's a powerful truth. The war against you was lost before it even began. From the moment you were chosen, your victory was written into the divine blueprint of your life. Your story is sealed with God's promise, making every trap, every scheme, and every attack against you utterly futile. You are a living testament to the scripture that proclaims, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The forces of darkness know this truth, yet they still attempt to resist it, only to fail repeatedly. Dark forces pour their energy into trying to derail you, hoping to disrupt the divine purpose attached to your life. but every strike they launch only reinforces their defeat. Each failed attempt reminds them of their ultimate powerlessness against someone protected and elevated by God. The harder they push, the more their plans unravel, exposing their inability to alter what has already been divinely ordained. Your life is anchored to a purpose that cannot be undone. Their efforts to stop you are not only ineffective, they highlight the profound truth of your calling. They are fighting a battle they were destined to lose, and your unwavering progress is proof that God's plan for you remains unstoppable. The authority you carry as a chosen one is undeniable and unmatched. You are not just protected by divine power, you walk in dominion, a position of spiritual superiority that commands respect and instills fear in the forces of darkness. While dark forces thrive in environments of chaos, fear, and confusion, your very presence disrupts their strongholds. When you step into a room, it is not merely you who enters. It is the spiritual authority bestowed upon you by the Creator. This authority radiates from you like a beacon of light, causing them to scatter in panic. Your life is not about mere survival. It's about dominance over darkness. You don't just withstand their attacks, you dismantle their influence entirely, rendering their schemes powerless. They avoid you not out of preference, but because they have no other choice. The energy you carry is too great for them to endure, and they recognize the divine hand that moves with you. This authority isn't just acknowledged, it is deeply feared. Darkness cannot coexist with the light you bring. Where they sow confusion, you bring clarity. Where they stir fear, you exude peace. Your dominion isn't a passive shield, it is an active force that nullifies their presence entirely. You are more than a threat. You are their undoing, a living testament to the power and purpose that cannot be challenged. In your presence, they are reminded of their limits and the futility of opposing someone so deeply aligned with divine truth. Fear is the weapon of choice for demons, their most potent tool for gaining control and sowing destruction. It is the gateway they use to manipulate thoughts, distort reality, and pull people into despair. Fear creates doubt, hesitation, and a sense of powerlessness, all of which are fertile ground for darkness to thrive. But as a chosen one, fear does not rule your heart or dictate your actions. Your mindset is grounded in faith, a divine confidence that places you beyond their reach. This shift in energy is profound. It creates a divine firewall around you, an impenetrable barrier that dark forces cannot cross. When fear comes knocking, you don't answer. You do not entertain the lies, the threats, or the chaos it brings. And this refusal confounds them. Their entire strategy is built on the assumption that you'll buckle under pressure, that fear will paralyze you, and that they can exploit your uncertainty. But when you remain steadfast, their power disintegrates, leaving them frustrated and powerless. Your courage doesn't just protect you, it sends a resounding message to the spiritual realm. Fear has no place here. It declares that your trust lies not in what is seen, but in the divine hand that guides your steps. This unwavering faith is your shield, and it turns every attack back on itself. The more they try to stir fear, the more they reveal their own powerlessness. In the presence of a chosen one walking boldly in faith, fear has no foothold, and darkness loses its grip entirely. Demons rely heavily on predictability. They are masters of studying human behavior, analyzing patterns, and identifying weaknesses they can exploit. They thrive when people fall into cycles of fear, doubt, and hesitation, behaviors they know how to manipulate. But when it comes to chosen ones, their strategies fall apart. You don't play by the rules of the world or adhere to predictable patterns. Instead, your actions are guided by divine purpose, making you both unpredictable and unshakable. They expect fear, but you stand firm in faith. They anticipate hesitation, but you move forward with unwavering confidence. When they try to push you into doubt, you counter with boldness rooted in trust. This refusal to follow their script throws them into chaos. They cannot map out your next move or anticipate how you'll respond, leaving them powerless to control or influence you. You are a mystery they cannot solve, a force they cannot manipulate. And this confusion doesn't just frustrate them, it weakens their ability to act. Their entire strategy depends on predictability, but when faced with someone aligned with divine truth, their plans unravel. You disrupt their tactics simply by being authentically guided by God, leaving them baffled and defeated. Demons thrive in chaos, feeding on fear, confusion, and turmoil to gain control. But your peace? It's an unshakable force that disrupts their plans at their very core. This peace doesn't come from living a life free of challenges. Instead, it flows from your profound connection to the divine, a source of strength that remains constant even in the midst of storms. While others may falter under pressure or panic in trials, you walk with a calm assurance that God is guiding your path. This unyielding peace is their greatest frustration. They scheme to stir confusion, hoping to cloud your judgment, yet you remain steady and clear-minded. They attempt to plant seeds of doubt in your heart, but your faith serves as fertile ground only for truth, leaving their efforts to wither and fail. Every attempt they make to disrupt your life only serves to highlight their powerlessness. Your peace doesn't just shield you, it actively dismantles their influence. It renders their tools ineffective, turning their chaos into silence. By walking in divine calmness, you not only protect yourself but also send a resounding message: I am untouchable, and darkness has no hold here. In the spiritual realms, your name is more than a mere identifier. It resonates as a declaration of divine authority and purpose. It is marked by power, imbued with the backing of the Creator himself, and recognized by every force in existence. Dark forces know your name, and the sound of it sends tremors through their ranks. They understand that you are not ordinary. You are chosen, protected, and elevated by a divine mandate that places you beyond their reach. When they even consider coming against you, they are stopped in their tracks by the weight of the consequences. It's as if your name carries a celestial warning label: do not touch. This isn't just caution. It's fear born of recognition. They see the divine authority you wield, the angelic armies that stand at your side, and the impenetrable purpose surrounding you. Their fear isn't irrational. It's a response to the reality of who you are. To them, you are untouchable, a living embodiment of divine truth and power. With every step you take, you remind them that their schemes are futile, their plans powerless against the force of God's will that surrounds your life. Darkness thrives in secrecy, feeding on fear, doubt, and ignorance where its schemes can go unnoticed. But your light? It's a brilliant spotlight that penetrates even the deepest shadows, exposing every hidden agenda and deceitful plan. Demons rely on manipulation and deception, weaving lies to trap the unsuspecting. Yet your very existence brings clarity, dismantling their tricks before they even take hold. You don't have to fight or struggle to expose them. Your presence alone does the work. Imagine this. As soon as you step into a situation, the forces of darkness scatter, scrambling like cockroaches fleeing from a sudden burst of light. That's the undeniable power of your authenticity. Your unwavering alignment with truth disrupts their strategies, leaving them powerless and disoriented. They can't operate in the radiant presence of someone so deeply connected to divine purpose. Your light doesn't just reveal their schemes, it renders them ineffective. Darkness cannot survive where truth and clarity reign. By simply standing firm in who you are, walking in the authority you've been given, you become a beacon of divine power that makes manipulation and fear crumble to dust. Darkness cannot compete with the brilliance you carry. Simply by existing, you embody a profound challenge to everything dark forces represent. Your life is not merely a sequence of moments. It is a living testament to light, love, and divine purpose. Every breath you take, every step you make, and every choice guided by faith sends an unyielding message to the spiritual realm. Darkness has no place here. You carry within you the unmistakable imprint of divine truth, a light so radiant that it illuminates even the deepest shadows. You don't need to shout, struggle, or engage in endless battles. Your mere presence is a declaration of victory, a bold statement that the forces of darkness cannot refute. It is not your actions alone, but the essence of who you are, a being aligned with divine will that repels and unsettles them. Darkness trembles before the clarity, peace, and strength you exude, for it cannot stand against the power of truth. Every moment you live authentically in alignment with your divine calling, you dismantle the schemes of darkness simply by refusing to bow to fear or despair. You are not just surviving. You are radiating an unstoppable truth that darkness can neither comprehend nor withstand. As a chosen one, solitude is never your reality. You walk with the constant presence of angelic forces, divine allies who are tirelessly working on your behalf. These are not passive guardians silently observing from a distance. They are powerful enforcers of God's will, ensuring that your path is protected, guided, and clear of anything that seeks to derail your divine purpose. Their mission is not merely to shield you, but to actively pave the way for your destiny, transforming obstacles into stepping stones and adversities into avenues of growth. Every challenge you face is met with their supernatural intervention, turning what seems impossible into a demonstration of divine power. When the enemy attempts to attack, these heavenly forces rise like an impenetrable wall, deflecting harm and using every trial to strengthen your resolve. You are fortified by a spiritual army that not only protects but empowers you. This divine reinforcement ensures that every setback becomes a setup for your success. With them by your side, you are truly unstoppable, moving through life with the confidence that every step you take is divinely orchestrated and supported by a force that no darkness can overcome. Your life is a masterpiece, a divine story written in celestial ink. You are not just a traveler in this world. You are a beacon of light, a disruptor of darkness, and a force that even the devil fears. Your journey is fortified by divine protection, guided by purpose, and illuminated by truth. Every step you take is a testament to God's unwavering plan for your life, and every challenge you face only amplifies your brilliance. So, stand tall, chosen one. Shine your light boldly and without hesitation. The world needs your radiance, your strength, and your unwavering faith. Remember, the heavens celebrate your every step, cheering you on as you walk in purpose and power. Let this message fill your spirit with hope and courage as you continue your divine journey. If this message has resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video. Share it with those who need encouragement. Together, let us rise stronger, brighter, and more united than ever before. Thank you for being here and see you in the next video. Imagine this for a moment. Every heartbreak you've endured, every sleepless night spent wrestling with doubt, every moment you questioned your worth, it has all been preparing you for this very moment. Not just this video, not just this fleeting instant, but this entire lifetime. You are not here by accident. You've felt it, haven't you? That subtle yet undeniable pull. That inexplicable sense whispering that there is something different about you. Something extraordinary. But what if I told you that the struggles, the chaos, the pain, they weren't random? They were signs. Signs that you are among the most powerful chosen ones. But let's pause. Let's begin where it truly matters, with the first and most important question. Do you feel like you don't belong in this world? Not in a way that makes you sad or lost, but in a way that quietly suggests you were made for something beyond this. Sign number 1, the hidden fire within. The truth is, chosen ones often feel like strangers in an ordinary world. You might glance at the world around you, the predictable routines, the shallow conversations, the endless pursuit of material comforts, and feel a deep, unsettling disconnection. It's as if you're walking through life observing everything from a distance, sensing that there's something more, something deeper beneath the surface that others can't seem to see. But hear me clearly, this feeling is not a curse, it's a call to rise above the noise, to break free from the illusions of comfort and conformity, and to step boldly into the purpose you were designed for. What separates the chosen ones is their vision. We don't just see the world for what it is, we see it for what it could become. We sense possibilities where others see limitations. We feel the weight of untapped potential in every interaction, every injustice, every moment of stillness. And this deeper awareness isn't by accident. It's the first undeniable sign that you are among the most powerful chosen ones. Your inner flame refuses to be extinguished. No matter how many storms life has hurled at you, the fire inside you keeps burning. Maybe it's your dreams that won't let go of you. Maybe it's a vision for something greater, a passion that refuses to die, or an unshakable will to keep moving forward. Whatever it is, there's something inside you that refuses to be silenced. Even when you've been knocked down, once, twice, 100 times, you rise. But let me share a deeper truth. That inner fire isn't just resilience, it's purpose. Think about it. Why would the universe test you so fiercely if you weren't meant to overcome it all? Why would you be given this relentless strength if there wasn't a greater reason for your existence? Every heartbreak, every setback, every failure, it wasn't sent to break you. It was sent to forge you, to shape you into the person capable of carrying out a purpose far bigger than you can imagine. Let's make this personal. Reflect on the hardest moment you've ever faced. Was it betrayal by someone you trusted? A devastating loss that left you breathless? A failure so profound it shattered your confidence? Now ask yourself this: did it destroy me, or did it prepare me? Because here's the truth about chosen ones. We don't crumble under pressure. We transform. Every scar becomes a story of survival. Every setback becomes a stepping stone to growth. Every disappointment becomes a redirection, guiding you closer to your true calling. And here's the most sacred secret I need you to understand. That relentless drive you feel, that fire pushing you to keep going even when you're exhausted, that didn't come from you alone. It was placed within you, a divine spark gifted to you the very moment you were born. You didn't earn it. You can't lose it. It's simply who you are. But that brings us to a question that only you can answer. What are you doing with that fire? It's not enough to simply survive. You were not chosen to merely get by. You were chosen to thrive, to lead, to awaken, to create. So how are you using the fire within you to shape the world around you? Are you feeding it with bold action and courageous choices? Or are you dimming it to fit into spaces too small for your spirit? Because here's the truth. That fire was never meant to be contained. It wasn't given to you to keep you warm and comfortable. It was given to you to set the world ablaze, to spark change, to inspire others, to light the way for those still trapped in darkness. But here's the part most people won't tell you. If you don't use that fire, it will turn inward. The very thing that was meant to empower you can become the source of frustration, restlessness, and even pain if you ignore it. Because chosen ones are not meant to sit still. We are meant to move, to create, to build, to lead. So I ask you again, what are you doing with that fire? Are you letting it burn freely, guiding you toward your purpose? Or are you letting fear, doubt, and comfort smother it? Because this fire is your greatest gift, but it is also your greatest responsibility. The world is waiting for your light, waiting for your voice, waiting for the impact only you can make. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start now. Feed the fire. Let it burn brighter. Let it lead you. Because the world doesn't need more people going through the motions. It needs more fire. And that fire is you. Sign number 2, living with purpose and power. Being chosen isn't about merely surviving life's challenges. It's about thriving in the face of them. It's about rising above the noise and the chaos, embracing your unique gifts and using them to create something far greater than yourself. You were not placed here to simply exist. You were not meant to drift through life, conforming to the world's expectations. No, you were called to stand out, to rise up, and to fulfill a purpose that reaches far beyond your own life. So, let me ask you this. Are you truly chasing your highest potential, or are you shrinking to fit into a world that was never meant to contain you? It's a difficult question, but it's one that demands your honest reflection. Too often, we dim our light to make others comfortable. We shrink our dreams to avoid standing out, to avoid criticism or rejection. But chosen ones don't settle. They don't water themselves down to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. Chosen ones understand something profoundly important. Your inner fire wasn't given to you just to light your own path. It was given to you to illuminate the world. And that brings us to one of the most undeniable signs that you are among the chosen. You carry a deep, unexplainable connection to others. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift? Maybe the atmosphere became lighter, warmer, calmer. Or perhaps people have told you, without prompting, that they feel safe around you, that your presence brings them peace, clarity, or comfort. This isn't about ego. It's not about charisma or being the center of attention. It's something far deeper. It's energy. Chosen ones carry a unique, magnetic energy. It's not something that can be taught or faked. It's born from experience, from enduring pain, heartbreak, failure, and still choosing to stand tall. It's the result of being tested and broken, yet emerging stronger, softer, and wiser. And in that breaking, in that burning away of everything superficial, we've become vessels for something far greater than ourselves. But here's where the paradox lies. Your openness is both your greatest strength and your greatest vulnerability. The same light that draws people to you can also attract those who are not meant to stay. Some people are drawn to your energy because they sense your strength, your compassion, your understanding. But not everyone who is drawn to you has pure intentions. Some are there to drain you, to take without giving, to pull from your light without ever contributing to it. Others may test your boundaries, seeing how much of yourself you're willing to give away before you recognize the need to protect your energy. And so I must ask you, who are you allowing into your sacred space? This is not a question of judgment, but one of discernment. Even the strongest among us need protection. Even the brightest flames need shielding from the cold winds of doubt, negativity, and distraction. Your energy is not infinite. It is sacred. It is powerful. But it must be nurtured and protected. It's easy to give, thinking that it's our responsibility to heal and help everyone who crosses our path. But the truth is, not everyone is meant to walk this journey with you. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, your mind, or your spirit. Boundaries are not barriers. They are gates. Gates that allow in those who align with your purpose and gently close to those who seek to harm or drain you. So, take a moment to reflect. Are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, who add to your light? Or are you allowing people into your life who take and take, leaving you feeling empty, drained, and lost? Because here's what I need you to understand. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot light the way for others if your own flame is flickering. And remember this. Your light is too precious to be dimmed by people who cannot handle its brilliance. So guard your heart, protect your spirit, nurture your soul, because the world needs your light to shine as brightly as it possibly can. Sign number 3, the unshakable sense of purpose. Here's the third, and perhaps the most profound sign that you are among the chosen. You feel an unshakable sense of purpose, even if you don't fully understand it yet. There's a quiet, persistent voice within you, a gentle but constant knowing that you are here for something greater, something significant, something that could change the world. Maybe you can't explain it. Maybe you've never been able to put it into words. But that feeling has always been there, hasn't it? A whisper in your soul that refuses to be silenced. Yet despite feeling this deep calling, you might find yourself wondering, but what exactly is it? What am I supposed to do? You've probably tried different paths, pursued different careers, formed relationships, chased various dreams, only to feel like none of them quite fit. Like wearing shoes that aren't made for you, no matter how much you try to break them in. And maybe, just maybe, this has left you feeling restless or even frustrated. You might have questioned yourself, wondering if you're failing because nothing seems to align. But what if I told you that this restlessness isn't a sign of failure at all? What if it's proof that your purpose is bigger than you can currently comprehend? Here's a truth that took me years to understand. Purpose isn't about knowing, it's about trusting. Trusting that every step, even the missteps, the detours, and the dead ends, are leading you somewhere meaningful. Trusting that the universe, God, or whatever higher power you believe in, is working in your favor, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. You see, we live in a world that constantly demands certainty. We're told we need a clear plan, a 5-year roadmap, and measurable goals. But true purpose doesn't work like that. Purpose is not always a clear destination. It's a journey, a series of small steps, each one revealing more of the path ahead. But here's where it gets challenging. We often wait. We wait for clarity. We wait for permission. We wait for the perfect time. But let me challenge you with this. What if you stopped waiting for clarity and started acting with faith? What if you trusted that the very act of moving forward, even when you don't have all the answers, is what will eventually lead you to where you're meant to be? Because here's the truth. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you create. It's not hidden behind some locked door you need to unlock. It's not waiting for you on some distant horizon. It's right here, right now. It's in the way you treat the people around you, with kindness, compassion, and love. It's in the way you choose courage over comfort, even when it terrifies you. It's in the risks you take, the passions you pursue, and the authenticity you bring to every situation. Purpose is built in the ordinary moments, not just the extraordinary ones. So, let me ask you, if you knew without a doubt that you were chosen for greatness, how would you live differently? Would you stop holding back? Would you finally start that project you've been dreaming about? Would you speak your truth without fear of judgment? Would you take that leap of faith, trusting that the net will appear? Think about it. How many dreams have you delayed because you were waiting to feel ready? How many opportunities have you passed up because you doubted yourself? But here's something you need to hear. You will never feel fully ready. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. Because purpose doesn't require you to be ready. It requires you to be willing. Willing to take the first step. Willing to stumble. Willing to grow. Every great journey begins with a step forward into the unknown. And yes, it might be uncomfortable. It might even be scary. But every step you take will build momentum. Every action you take will bring more clarity. You were chosen for this life, for this moment, for this calling. So I ask you again, if you truly believed you were destined for greatness, how would you live today? Would you rise earlier to work on your dreams? Would you stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces too small for your spirit? Would you speak life into others, knowing your words carry weight and healing? This is your permission. Stop waiting. Start creating. Because every moment you delay, the world is missing out on the impact only you can make. You don't need to know every detail of the journey. You just need to begin. Sign number 4, becoming the light. Chosen ones are not here to live ordinary lives. We are not here to blend in, to follow the crowd, or to settle for mediocrity. We are here to lead, to awaken others, to create legacies that outlive us, to ignite flames in souls that are still asleep. But let's be honest, this path is not an easy one. Stepping into your power comes with great responsibility. It demands more from you than most people are willing to give. It requires you to rise above fear, self-doubt, and the comfort of familiarity. It calls you to live boldly, to step forward even when your knees tremble, and to shine brightly even when the darkness feels overwhelming. It means no longer hiding, no longer waiting, no longer dimming your light to make others comfortable. It means becoming the light, even when it feels safer to stay in the shadows. And so I must ask you, what part of yourself have you been hiding? Is it your creativity, your voice, your compassion, your leadership? Think about it. How many times have you silenced your ideas out of fear they wouldn't be accepted? How often have you hesitated to share your truth because you worried it wouldn't be enough? But here's a truth you need to hear and believe with every fiber of your being. Your vulnerability is your greatest strength. The parts of you that feel broken, imperfect, or uncertain. Those are the parts that make you real. And it's not perfection that inspires people. It's authenticity. People don't need you to have all the answers. They don't need you to be flawless. What they need is to see someone who dares to show up exactly as they are, raw, honest, and human. They need to see that it's possible to be both flawed and extraordinary at the same time. But let me be clear. Recognizing your gifts is not enough. You must act. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Because here's the truth. The perfect moment will never come. There will always be reasons to wait. Doubts, fears, what-ifs. But none of those reasons are enough to justify staying small. So, start. Write the book that's been on your heart for years. Create the art that speaks your truth. Launch the business that could change lives. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Because when you do, when you step forward in faith, the universe will rise to meet you. Doors will open. Opportunities will appear. People will show up to support you. Not by accident, not by luck, but because you finally aligned with your purpose. And here's the greatest truth of all. The world doesn't need more noise. It doesn't need more empty words, more surface-level conversations, or more people pretending to be something they're not. The world needs more light. And that light is you. Your perspective, your voice, your energy, your story. No one else can offer what you have. No one else can carry the message you were born to deliver. So, I'll leave you with this. What will you do with the gift of being chosen? Will you rise? Will you lead? Will you step into your calling with courage and conviction? Because the world is waiting. Will you answer the call? Thank you so much for being here and sharing this moment with me. If this message spoke to your soul, if it awakened something within you, I invite you to join this journey of growth and purpose. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiring content designed to empower you to step fully into your divine calling. And if this message resonated with you, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Until next time, keep shining. What I'm about to share may surprise you, perhaps even shock you. If you're watching this video right now, it's not by coincidence. God has led you here because something powerful is happening in your life. You are shifting from wanting to having. Yes, you heard me correctly. The very things you've been praying for, hoping for, and waiting for are no longer distant desires on the horizon. They are already moving into your reality. This is far more than a simple change in mindset. It's a profound spiritual and energetic transformation. As a chosen one, you're on the brink of witnessing doors opening and opportunities aligning in ways that will leave you speechless. To fully embrace and harness the power of this shift, it's crucial to understand how it works. Before we dive into this life-changing message, I invite you to pause for a moment and do 3 powerful things. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment with the number 11, a number resonating with spiritual alignment and divine timing. If you are truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the end because your spirit already knows this message is for you. Those not ready for the truth may not make it, but for those who do, your life will never be the same. Let's begin. There were whispers behind your back, voices filled with doubt and ready to pounce at the slightest sign of weakness. They thought they knew your story, the one they had carefully crafted in their minds to fit their own limited expectations. They won't make it, they sneered. They're not strong enough. They'll fall. They watched you closely, waiting for the cracks to appear, eagerly anticipating the moment they could point and say, "I told you so." But what they didn't realize was that you were built for this journey, forged by trials far greater than they could ever imagine. Every challenge they thought would break you became a stepping stone, a test of your strength that only made you stronger. It wasn't just your determination that took them by surprise. It was the quiet, unshakable resolve you carried deep within. They expected you to stumble, to falter under the weight of life's obstacles. But instead, you moved forward, step by deliberate step, with a focus so steady, it left them stunned. Where they saw failure, you saw opportunity. Where they saw defeat, you uncovered the chance to rise even higher. Your journey became a mirror, one they couldn't ignore. It reflected not your weaknesses but their insecurities, their inability to see beyond their own fears and limitations. They underestimated you because they couldn't fathom a strength like yours, a strength that didn't seek validation or approval but thrived quietly, persistently, and powerfully. Each time they whispered behind your back, waiting for your collapse, they only fueled your resolve. Their doubts became the fire that propelled you forward, the energy you needed to prove, not to them but to yourself, that you were capable of so much more. What they didn't understand was that your endurance was not just physical or mental, it was spiritual. It was born from a place they couldn't touch, a place of unwavering belief that your purpose was far greater than their judgments. As they watched, their narrative unraveled. The person they thought would break was unbreakable. The one they believed would falter kept rising, leaving them speechless. Their hopes for your downfall shattered as they saw your resilience in action, a resilience that turned every setback into a comeback, every obstacle into an opportunity. In the end, it wasn't your failures that they were forced to confront, but their own misjudgment. You didn't just defy their expectations, you transcended them. And as you stood stronger, steadier, and higher than they ever thought possible, they were left with no choice but to watch in awe, knowing they had witnessed something they never believed could happen. Your undeniable, unstoppable rise. The first time they underestimated you, it was their greatest mistake. They looked at your quiet nature and misjudged it as weakness. They assumed you were just another face in the crowd, another dreamer too fragile to withstand the challenges of life, too timid to rise above mediocrity. They were quick to write you off, convinced that you lacked the strength or determination to make a real impact. But what they failed to see was the quiet storm within you, the fire that burned steadily beneath the surface. You didn't need to shout to prove your worth or demand attention to assert your presence. Instead, you focused on your path, pouring your energy into your goals. Every step forward you took, every quiet victory you claimed, spoke louder than the noise they created. While they busied themselves with judgments and assumptions, you stayed committed to the work, letting your progress speak for itself. You didn't seek validation from anyone because you didn't need it. Your belief in yourself was all the fuel you required. Their doubts, their underestimation, and their misplaced confidence in your failure became the very foundation of your strength. They couldn't see the depth of your resolve or the unshakable strength you carried within. Their misjudgment became your greatest weapon, a silent motivator that drove you to rise higher than even you thought possible. With every doubt they cast, you built another stepping stone toward greatness. In their blindness, they didn't just underestimate your potential. They handed you the fuel to transform every whisper of doubt into a roaring testament of success. What they thought would limit you only propelled you further, leaving them to marvel at a fire they never saw coming. The world has a way of putting people into boxes, defining their worth, their abilities, and their future based on narrow assumptions. It creates labels and molds, expecting everyone to conform to its expectations. But from the very beginning, you were never meant to fit into their boxes. You were destined to break free. Time and time again, they tried to impose their limits on you. They told you what you couldn't do, who you couldn't be, and how far you would never go. Yet every time you shattered their expectations, the labels they placed on you weren't confinements. They became challenges. And with every challenge, you met it head-on, armed with courage that refused to waver. You didn't just meet the expectations set for you, you obliterated them. Where others saw walls, you saw doors waiting to be opened. Where they saw barriers, You found stepping stones. Each limit they tried to impose became another opportunity for you to prove them wrong. Not out of spite, but because you knew their opinions could never define your potential. With every barrier you broke, you moved closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. The journey wasn't just about defying their expectations, it was about discovering the greatness within yourself. They thought they knew your limits. They believed they had you figured out. But they were wrong. What they didn't realize was that your spirit was never bound by their rules. You were born to rise, to break free, and to create a life that defies the molds the world tried to shape you into. And with every step forward, you continue to prove that their limits were never yours to begin with. For so long, they tried to control you. They dictated your every move, deciding what path you should take, who you should be, and how far you could go. Their expectations weighed heavily on you, their manipulations subtle yet suffocating, and their pressures designed to keep you in line. You carried their judgments, their fears, and their vision for your life as though it was your own. But deep down, you knew this wasn't your path. You knew you were made for more. Then came the moment of realization, a powerful, undeniable truth. You could no longer live under their control. It wasn't anger or defiance that moved you. It was clarity. You saw the chains they had placed around you for what they truly were, limitations built from their insecurities and fears. It was time to break free, to step out of their shadow and into your own light. Letting go wasn't easy. The chains weren't just physical. They had rooted themselves in your mind and spirit. Breaking free meant confronting years of conditioning, questioning everything you had been told to believe. But you fought through it all, determined to reclaim what was rightfully yours, your independence, your identity, your future. And once you broke free, there was no turning back. The moment you chose yourself, you began to see the strength within you that had been hidden all along. It was a strength born not just of survival, but of transformation. You realized you were capable of far more than they ever allowed you to believe. This wasn't just an act of rebellion. It was a necessary awakening. By stepping into your power, you became the person you were always destined to be, free, strong, and unshakable. And now, nothing can hold you back. The odds were stacked against you from the very beginning. You didn't have the resources others seem to effortlessly possess, the support system that so many take for granted, or even the belief of those around you. Everywhere you turned, it felt like the world was betting against you. But despite it all, you didn't stop. You refused to give up on yourself or your dreams, even when everything seemed to be working against you. Instead of letting adversity crush you, you learned to turn it into fuel. Every setback, every obstacle, became a spark that ignited your determination. Each time they told you it was impossible, you didn't just ignore them. You made it possible. You didn't rely on their approval or validation. You relied on your own inner strength and faith that you were meant for something greater. Your journey wasn't just about proving them wrong. It went far deeper than that. It was about proving to yourself that you were capable of rising above anything life threw your way. You realized that the greatest battle wasn't with the world, but within yourself, to silence the doubts, overcome the fear, and push forward when it felt easier to give in. With every challenge, you didn't just survive, you grew. With every failure, you didn't just stumble, you learned. Each trial became a lesson, each roadblock a stepping stone toward the person you were becoming. The odds may have been against you, but they were never strong enough to stop you. You turned your struggles into strength, your pain into progress, and your setbacks into stepping stones. Now, as you stand where others thought you'd never reach, your story isn't just one of triumph. It's a testament to the power of resilience, courage, and unwavering self-belief. What truly sets you apart isn't just your resilience. It's the extraordinary power that comes from within. This power is not loud or boastful. It doesn't demand attention. Instead, It resides quietly but firmly in the depths of your being, a constant force that sustains and strengthens you in ways that others can only marvel at. This power is far greater than physical strength. It transcends the limitations of the body and lives in your mind, heart, and spirit. It is mental clarity, the ability to stay focused and determined when chaos surrounds you. It is emotional depth, allowing you to process pain, learn from it, and rise above it without losing your compassion or sense of self. It is spiritual grounding, a connection to something greater than yourself that gives you purpose and perspective even in your darkest hours. Through every storm, this power has been your anchor, holding you steady when the winds of doubt tried to knock you down. When the path ahead seemed unclear, it became your compass, guiding you forward with unwavering assurance. While others may have faltered under pressure, you pressed on, driven by this inner force that refused to let you give up. What makes this power so remarkable is that it cannot be taken from you. It is entirely yours, a gift that grows stronger every time you face adversity. It doesn't diminish with time or fade with hardship. Instead, it deepens, becoming an unstoppable force that propels you toward your destiny. This inner strength is your greatest ally, your quiet superpower. It's not always visible to the outside world, but its presence is undeniable, both to you and to anyone fortunate enough to witness the incredible heights it enables you to reach. Every great journey has a turning point, a moment so profound that it alters the course of everything that comes after. For you, that moment wasn't just a simple change. It was a complete transformation, a shift that redefined how you saw yourself and the life you were meant to lead. In that moment, you went from questioning your abilities to embracing your inherent greatness. The doubts that once held you back no longer had a place in your mind. You realized that the struggles you had endured weren't designed to break you, but to mold you into the person you were always destined to become. The challenges you faced weren't obstacles, they were stepping stones, each one preparing you for something greater. It was as if a veil had been lifted, and for the first time, you could see the strength, potential, and purpose that had always been within you. The fears that once paralyzed you began to fade, replaced by an unwavering belief in yourself and the journey ahead. From that moment on, there was no going back. You stopped hesitating and started moving forward with boldness and intention. You embraced the power that had always been inside you, that quiet, unshakable force that had carried you through every storm. With every step you took, you walked more confidently toward your destiny, knowing that you were no longer defined by past failures or external expectations. This transformation wasn't just about rising above challenges. It was about stepping into your true self. It was a declaration to the world and to yourself that you were ready to claim the life you were meant to live, no matter what lay ahead. From that moment, your journey became unstoppable, and your path became a testament to the incredible power of self-belief and transformation. The world often defines success by material measures, wealth, status, and public recognition. It sets a standard that many chase, often losing themselves in the process. But for you, success was never about fitting into someone else's mold or meeting societal expectations. For you, true success is something far deeper. It's about personal growth, resilience, and living a life that aligns with your greater purpose. You've learned that success isn't something the world can hand to you, nor is it something that can be taken away. You've redefined what it means to succeed on your own terms, and in doing so, you've liberated yourself from the endless chase for external validation. For you, success is not about how others perceive you, but about how true you are to yourself. Every step forward is a victory, not because it's recognized by others, but because it reflects your commitment to becoming the person you are meant to be. Success is the quiet pride you feel when you've overcome a challenge, the satisfaction of knowing you stayed true to your values, and the peace that comes from living authentically. This new definition has freed you. You no longer measure yourself by comparisons or competition. Instead, You measure your progress by the distance you've traveled on your journey and the lessons you've learned along the way. For you, success isn't a destination, but a way of living. It's about embracing your path, no matter how unconventional, and finding joy in the process of becoming. By choosing to live in alignment with your purpose, you've unlocked a form of success that no wealth or recognition could ever provide: true fulfillment. Your rise isn't just a personal triumph, it's a ripple effect that will reach far beyond what you can imagine, inspiring generations to come. Your story, shaped by resilience and fueled by unwavering determination, will serve as a beacon of hope for others. It will encourage those who feel trapped by their circumstances to defy the odds, rise above their challenges, and pursue their own greatness. Every step you've taken, every obstacle you've overcome, has not only been for you but for those who will look to your journey as proof that it's possible to achieve the extraordinary. Your victories carry a message that even when the world counts you out, even when the odds seem insurmountable, the power within you can lead to unimaginable heights. You were chosen for something far greater than yourself, a purpose that transcends personal success. Your journey is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the potential that lies within each of us. It is a reminder that greatness isn't about being flawless. It's about being courageous, determined, and willing to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Though the world may not have been ready for you before, they can no longer deny your presence. Now they will witness the greatness you were born to achieve. Your journey is just beginning, and its impact will ripple outward, touching lives and changing perspectives. This isn't just your story, it's a legacy in the making, a legacy that will inspire others to believe in their own power, pursue their purpose, and rise to their own greatness. The world is watching now, and what they will see is a life that defies limits and ignites hope. You were never meant to live a life of mediocrity. From the moment you took your first breath, a greater destiny was in store for you. Every challenge, every triumph, has been leading you to this moment. You are living proof that no matter the odds, greatness is possible. Your purpose is woven into the fabric of the universe. As you continue to walk this path, there is no limit to the heights you will reach. This is your time to rise, to inspire, and to transform the world around you. The Chosen One isn't just a title, it's a destiny, and you are living it. Have you ever wondered why your life seems to draw so much attention? Why every move you make feels like it's being scrutinized, questioned, and sometimes even opposed? This is not a coincidence. You are not just existing, you are living with a divine purpose so powerful that it naturally attracts both curiosity and envy. This isn't something to fear, it's confirmation of the calling on your life. Your light stirs something deep in others, compelling them to seek answers, and sometimes that search leads them to a truth they never expected. Before we dive deeper into this transformative story, let's take a moment to honor you, our incredible audience. Your unwavering support keeps this message alive. If you've ever felt inspired by these truths, comment 99 below as a sign of faith and divine completeness. And to those who have contributed through super thanks, your generosity is more than appreciated. It's a divine seed sown to uplift countless souls. Now imagine this. Someone hires a private investigator to uncover your flaws, confident that they will expose your weaknesses. But as they dig deeper, they don't find what they expected. Instead, they discover something extraordinary, a light so radiant and undeniable that it transforms them. They thought they were exposing you, but they became witnesses to the divine purpose guiding your life. The private investigator took on the assignment with absolute confidence, fully believing it would be a straightforward task. To them, it was routine, a job like any other. They assumed they would quickly uncover secrets, hidden flaws, or past mistakes that could be exploited and used against you. They expected to peel back the layers of your life and find something incriminating, something ordinary, something human. After all, no one is perfect. And surely, they thought, you couldn't be either. This belief filled them with certainty and made their mission seem effortless. But as they began their investigation, something unexpected happened. The deeper they dug into your life, the more their certainty began to crumble. What they encountered was far from what they anticipated. There were no dark secrets, no hidden scandals, no vulnerabilities to expose. Instead, they found something they couldn't explain, a radiant strength that seemed to grow stronger with every discovery they made. It was as if every piece of your life they examined only led them closer to a divine truth they were utterly unprepared to face. Your spiritual resilience was undeniable. Your authenticity, so pure and unshakable, stood as a solid foundation that no accusation could fracture. Your unwavering purpose shone brightly, a beacon of light that could not be dimmed. These qualities weren't ordinary. They were evidence of something far greater than human strength. It became clear that your life was not just a series of events, but a carefully woven narrative guided by a higher power. Each chapter they tried to dissect only revealed a deeper layer of grace, purpose, and divine protection. They began to realize they were not just investigating a person. They were confronting the undeniable hand of God over your life. Like staring directly into the sun, they were blinded by the brilliance of your divine calling. The energy they sought to dismantle wasn't something fragile or fleeting. It was rooted in something eternal, a divine force that cannot be measured, contained, or destroyed. This wasn't simply an investigation anymore. It had become a direct confrontation with God's unshakable plan for your life. Their mission was doomed from the very beginning, not because they were incompetent or careless, but because they were up against something far beyond their understanding. Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" That light within you didn't just illuminate, it overwhelmed the darkness, leaving no room for the shadows they hoped to exploit. They expected to find skeletons in your closet, but instead, they stumbled upon profound truths that shattered their expectations. The more they searched for weaknesses, the more they encountered a divine strength that was untouchable. Every attempt to undermine you only led them deeper into the realization that your life is wrapped in divine favor. They couldn't understand it, and they certainly couldn't fight it. The very energy they aimed to dismantle was beyond their reach. It was a spiritual force, a divine presence that silences every attack and renders every scheme powerless. What they intended to be your downfall became their awakening. They were no longer just investigators. They had become unwilling witnesses to the undeniable power of God's purpose in your life. Think of Joseph in Genesis 37. His story is one of betrayal, suffering, and ultimately, divine elevation. Joseph was favored by his father Jacob and gifted with a richly ornamented coat, symbolizing his unique place in the family. But it was not the coat alone that stirred envy in his brothers. It was the dreams God placed in Joseph's heart, dreams of leadership, of greatness, of divine purpose. His brothers, consumed by jealousy, couldn't stand the thought of Joseph rising above them. Their envy sharpened into resentment, and resentment hardened into action. In their bitterness, they conspired against him. They stripped him of his coat, the outward symbol of favor, and sold him into slavery, believing they had erased the advantage God had given him. They thought they had silenced him, buried his dreams, and destroyed his future. Yet, what they didn't realize was that their betrayal became the very path God used to elevate Joseph. Joseph's journey was not easy. He was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. But through every trial, God's hand was upon him. Every setback was a setup for something greater. In the depths of his suffering, Joseph developed wisdom, strength, and resilience that prepared him for leadership. Eventually, he rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. And when famine struck the land, it was Joseph's position that allowed him to save countless lives, including the very brothers who had betrayed him. Years later, those same brothers bowed before Joseph, unaware of who he was. When they finally realized his identity, they feared retribution. But Joseph, filled with divine understanding, spoke words that resonate through time. "You intended to harm me, But God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Now reflect on your own life. Perhaps someone close to you has conspired against you. Someone who once stood beside you but could not bear to witness your growth. Maybe their jealousy turned into resentment, and their resentment into action, much like Joseph's brothers. They may have orchestrated an investigation into your life, hoping to uncover flaws or mistakes, believing they could tarnish your reputation or halt your progress. But they failed to understand that the favor on your life cannot be erased by human schemes. What they meant for harm is already being transformed for your good. Their attempts to tear you down have become the very stepping stones God is using to elevate you. Every scheme against you is now part of a larger plan, a divine design that is positioning you for something far greater than you could imagine. Just as Joseph's trials prepared him for leadership, your challenges are refining you for your divine purpose. Every betrayal, every false accusation, every attempt to undermine you is being woven into God's perfect plan. Your adversaries have unknowingly become instruments in the process of your elevation. Remember this: no human action can override God's intention for your life. Their schemes are powerless against His divine purpose. What they plotted in secret will only serve to highlight the strength, grace, and favor God has placed upon you. Like Joseph, you are being prepared for a position of influence and impact, and in time, those who sought to harm you will see the fullness of God's plan revealed. Stand firm in this truth. Their actions cannot stop what God has ordained. Let their attempts to harm you be a confirmation of your calling. Every step they take against you is only pushing you closer to your divine destiny. Reflect on the story of Daniel in Daniel 6, a powerful example of how unwavering faith can turn plots of destruction into platforms for God's glory. Daniel was a man of integrity, wisdom, and deep devotion to God. His faithfulness earned him favor with King Darius, who planned to elevate Daniel to a position of great authority over the entire kingdom. But this favor sparked jealousy among the other officials and administrators. They could not tolerate Daniel's rise and sought to bring him down. Driven by envy, these men conspired against Daniel. They scrutinized his life, searching for any flaw or mistake that could discredit him. Yet, they found nothing. Daniel was blameless in his duties and faultless in his character. Frustrated, they realized that the only way to trap him was through his faith in God. So they devised a deceptive plan, convincing King Darius to sign a decree that prohibited anyone from praying to any god or human other than the king for 30 days. The punishment for disobedience was severe, being thrown into a den of lions. Daniel, aware of this decree, remained steadfast. He did not hide or waver. He continued to pray openly, just as he had always done, demonstrating his unshakable trust in God. Daniel's enemies thought they had won. They believed their scheme would lead to his destruction, but they greatly underestimated the power of the God Daniel served. Thrown into the lion's den, Daniel should have been devoured. Yet God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel emerged unharmed. His faith didn't just protect him, it magnified God's glory. Now reflect on your own life. Just like Daniel, you may have people who plot against you, hoping to expose your weaknesses or undermine your progress. They examine your life, searching for faults to exploit, but find nothing substantial. Frustrated, they target your character, your values, and your divine purpose. They think their schemes can derail your destiny, but they cannot. Every attack against you has only highlighted the strength of your foundation. Their attempts to discredit you have revealed not weakness, but resilience. Their accusations have crumbled under the weight of your authenticity and the undeniable favor of God on your life. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." This is more than just scripture. It is the living reality of your existence. The weapons formed against you may be sharp and intentional, but they are powerless against God's protection. Like Daniel, your faith and unwavering trust in God have turned every trap set for your downfall into a stage for His glory. Those who have conspired against you will witness your rise. Their own schemes will collapse, and the very attacks meant to harm you will become testimonies of God's faithfulness in your life. Your enemies will stand speechless, unable to comprehend how every obstacle they placed before you became a stepping stone toward your divine elevation. No scheme, no slander, no strategy formed against you can succeed. Like Daniel, you are covered by God's unbreakable protection. Your steadfast faith is your greatest defense, and God will continue to use every attempt against you to reveal His glory. Imagine the investigator, once so confident in their mission, slowly realizing that their assignment was far more than uncovering flaws. It was an intrusion into something sacred. What they believed would be a simple task of exposing weakness turned into something deeply unsettling. Every file they opened, every detail they scrutinized, didn't reveal failure but instead echoed with undeniable divine purpose. With each discovery, the investigator began to sense the weight of what they were truly confronting. The pieces of your life didn't form a narrative of mistakes, but a tapestry of resilience, grace, and unwavering faith. The more they searched, the more they saw life intricately woven by God's hand. Their task, once clear, now felt like a violation of something holy. The deeper they went, the heavier the burden of guilt became. They began questioning their motives, recognizing the cracks in their own character. Their mission no longer made sense. They were no longer just investigating you. They were being forced to confront their own insecurities, their own moral failures. Like the Pharisees in John 8:7, who brought a woman before Jesus to be condemned and were met with his piercing words, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." The investigator faced a truth they couldn't ignore. Just as those accusers slowly walked away, unable to justify their judgment, the investigators' pursuit unraveled. Their mission crumbled under the weight of divine truth. What was meant to harm you only exposed their own flaws, leaving them defeated not by force, but by the undeniable presence of God in your life. But the most profound and undeniable moment came when the investigator followed the evidence to its true source, the very people who had hired them. What began as a mission to uncover your flaws slowly unraveled into a trail of deceit, manipulation, and hidden agendas. The shadows they pursued did not surround you. Instead, they led straight back to the ones operating behind the scenes. The true darkness wasn't in your life, but in the hearts of those who orchestrated the entire scheme. Proverbs 26:27 says, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." This scripture came to life as their carefully crafted plot collapsed in on itself. The traps they set for you became snares for their own feet. Every lie they spun, every scheme they devised, recoiled with devastating force. What they intended as a weapon against you became the very tool of their downfall. This is the essence of God's divine reversal. It wasn't through confrontation or retaliation that their plans were destroyed. It was through the sovereign hand of God. Every attempt to discredit you became a platform for your vindication. Their deceit exposed only their own guilt, and their power crumbled beneath the weight of truth. God turned their evil intentions into undeniable proof of His favor and protection over your life. What they meant for harm has been transformed into evidence of your divine calling. Their failure was not accidental. It was inevitable, for no scheme can stand against the will of God. Chosen one, what will you do now with this truth? Will you let their failed attempts distract you, or will you stand firm in your calling? Isaiah 41:10 reminds you, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Walk boldly." Your life is not ordinary, it's a divine testimony. Their schemes have only confirmed what God has already declared over you. Every attempt to break you has only made you stronger. Let their failure be your confirmation. You are chosen, you are shielded, you are unshakable. So stand tall, chosen one. The world may scrutinize you, but they cannot comprehend the power within you. You are a reflection of God's glory, a living, breathing testament to His divine purpose. If this message has stirred something within you, comment 99 below as a sign of faith and divine completeness. Like and share this message so others can step into their calling. May God continue to protect you, guide you, and elevate you beyond every scheme. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. You are destined for greatness. Amen.